Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling Review Series. Welcome for those of you that are new. We've got about 10 or 12 of these up. Sergeant Slaughter's up basically saying that he wants his due with Ricky Steamboat and Jake Roberts and anybody that'll listen. He's tired of being disrespected as the U.S. champion. U.S. champion almost seems better or more valuable than the nature of the um, Mid Atlantic Championship at times. Dave Peterson and Terry Taylor here. Beautiful wrestling exchange early in the early stages. Taylor still the rookie of the year for the previous year. Um, Peterson, not a guy we know a great deal about. Head scissors takeover and basic stuff by Taylor. Taylor managing to be pretty aggressive, stays on the armbar, simple stuff, nothing necessarily worth writing home about, but at the same time, pretty basic maneuvers along the way here. Taylor cinches up on the arm, stays on the arm for several minutes, and does everything he possibly can to get things going in a positive direction for himself, as it were, and ultimately there and hard shots and basic maneuvers along the way there. In any event, kind of top wrist locks, arm bars, and basic stuff. Taylor stays on the arm of his opponent and manages to kind of drive into the arm. Taylor also manages body slams and other basic maneuvers, showing that he has the wherewithal and, for lack of a better term, persistence to get things going in a direction that's beneficial for him. Hitting the flying forearm and a win for Terry Taylor here in this particular opening match. They're given about 5 or so minutes, something like that. Proof that short matches can work. They just need to be approached from the right perspective or from a perspective that's going to lead to positive things. So, Don Kernoodle and Jim Nelson, both the privates of Sergeant Slaughter versus Mike Davis and Vinny Valentino. Obviously, Davis is a relative newcomer, has been treated pretty well throughout the area in terms of having steady work. Valentino also an enhancement talent. Both guys, on Slaughter's side, dressing in Army fatigues, basically doing the private deal. Nelson with a bit more power, Kernoodle with a bit more technological ability. Kernoodle is treated pretty well throughout the area and manages to get more of a babyface run in the later 80s part of things. Actually, super excited to be doing the 82 through 86 run of this entire program. Beautiful dropkick under the chin by Mike Davis. Davis also manages a couple of arm bars, basic maneuvers along the way, and getting things going in a directive here. And super excited by the process of it all. And again, um, you know, his the opponent there, hard shots by Nelson. Nelson takes the majority of the match during the early stages here. I don't know if that's because he has more power. I don't know if that's because he has more of a look to him, but it's interesting when he's in tag matches, he takes a good bit of time. Sergeant Slaughter talks about the want of a disappearance of Jake Roberts, and they do the top rope heart attack clothesline maneuver, do the Kernoodle and Nelson tandem there. Also, there is an upcoming promise of an incoming Dusty Rhodes that's here, and they talk about that. Kernoodle beats up on Steamboat, and Kernoodle and Slaughter and everybody beats up on Steamboat. Ric Flair comes in and saves Rick Steamboat, which for the Mid-Atlantic territory is a pretty big deal because Flair and Steamboat have feuds going back to between 77 and 79. So Flair as the world champion, saving Ricky Steamboat, a pretty big deal. Then we see promo from the privates of Sergeant Slaughter, Kernoodle, and Nelson. Pretty consistent there in some ways. kind of a tie-up there, and ultimately a bit of a run. And then we see Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson cutting a promo, but Jimmy Valiant cuts them off. There's a brawl between Valiant, Hansen, and Anderson. That turns into all of the baby faces out. Basically, the schmas that we see in modern day wrestling. Difference here is people actually care about all the talent in the schmas, and everybody has independent, at least to some degree, angles with each other, so that it makes sense for guys to have a run there. Mike George and Mike Miller is the next match up. Not exactly a match worth writing home about. Miller has been an enhancement talent around the area at the time for quite a while. George, sends him over. Snapmare gets him over and tries to go at him pretty aggressively. Lots of forearms, punches, kicks. George is treated as I don't know what I'd say, better of the two, but certainly a stronger of the two, maybe. In any event, that is there, and cinches up on the front face lock and other basic maneuvers along the way there. Kind of taking things to him, and overall, Mike George gets the pinning combination. Then we see, Ray Stevens comes out basically saying that he wants an opportunity. Jake Roberts comes out and starts talking more about the tag team tournament, and he and Barry Windham Jr., or Blackjack Mulligan Jr., a.k.a. Barry Windham, are going to be in the tournament. Ron Ritchie up next with a singles match. Ron Ritchie is an enhancement talent who, for the most part, doesn't really get a great deal of attention in a lot of ways. Ron Ritchie facing off in this particular run of things with Bill White. Bill White, a stockier guy who... Interesting that they're putting enhancement talents in matches on television. I think it's a good idea in the sense of if you're trying to get somebody over, if you're trying to make it appear that your major stars can face off against enhancement talents and have competitive matches is a good way to do that. Certainly Bill White having the power advantage. Ron Ritchie probably better on the canvas, front face locks, reverse chin locks, and the like. Very basic match, almost like a Florida style match that Eddie Graham would like in its nature, and super aggressive here. Obviously, Ron Ritchie comes out with the victory. Bob Caudle and Jim Crockett try to interview Ritchie post his win, and he's kind of a bit lost in the area. Sergeant Slaughter back out, crowing more about his dislike of Dusty Rhodes and Rick Steamboat, and wanting more challenges as it goes forward. And again, he's been U.S. champion now probably for about 6 months at the time. More promos for Kelly. Kelly Kiniski comes out. Kelly Kiniski coming to the area and forming a team with Don Gilbert, I don't believe related to Doug or Eddie, but they're entering the tag team championship tournament or the tag team local city tournaments, trying to get a bit of run there and some leverage in that. Don Gilbert and Kelly Kiniski face Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen. Anderson, phenomenal in the ring. I think everybody should watch Ole Anderson. Obviously known not to be a very friendly guy, but managing to take a body part apart very succinctly, works over the arm. Also gets some ride time on young Gilbert here, and Kiniski for that matter. Fireman's carry takeovers. Every move that he does seems legitimate. Every move seems aggressive, assertive, and gets his point across. Something that a lot of talents can't seem to really do in modern day wrestling. Stan Hansen comes in. Hansen's only in for a couple of minutes. Obviously hits the running lariat and gets a victory for his team. basically only implies in a promo that in fact it's only a matter of time before he and Hanson are tag team champions here again in the Mid-Atlantic area, and we will be back with more right after this.